Hi friends. This week's video is going to be a little different than my usual videos. I'm calling it Color in Chat because rather than doing a big art project or a craft, I'm just going to color. And I called it chat because, well, I'm not really chatting with you, but rather than scripting out a voiceover, I'm just going to kind of talk about whatever I want to talk about. If this isn't your thing, no worries, I'll be back to my regular content next week. The reason that I chose to do a pretty simple video like this is because this last month has worn me down. I really sort of overextended myself and I needed to do something kind of relaxing. If you're new here, I'm a teacher and a principal at a Montessori preschool. So I'm basically doing 2 jobs at a time. And this is usually stressful at all times of the year, but it's especially stressful in October because we had parent-teacher conferences and Halloween events. And on top of that, I was doing my Halloween videos, which, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love doing them. I had so much fun with them and they came out so cute, but I wasn't the smartest and picked really time-consuming and complex projects and ideas to do. It was a major struggle to get everything finished and edited and out on time. The last 2 weeks of October were especially stressful to where I was using every free moment to get something done and basically only stopping to sleep. So once Halloween came and went, I just needed to relax. So this is what I chose to do. Now, coloring isn't one of my absolutely most favorite activities to do. I usually would choose to do a craft or paint a picture or create this book, something that I can really use my imagination and get really creative with. But that's actually why I chose coloring for this. I wanted to limit myself a little bit where I couldn't add clay and a million details and layers of paint to try and make something really complicated. I mean, don't worry, I will still make this very complicated, but I couldn't go as detailed as I normally would. Now, with all of that being said, I still think that coloring is actually really good practice for normal art. Because even if you're drawing a picture or painting, that still involves blending and shading and picking the right colors. And those are all things that I feel like I struggle with. So I actually really like coloring to sort of help me practice that, but without having to worry about drawing first. Also, since it's not my drawing, I'm a little less hesitant to mess it up. I do usually choose pictures that I have a sort of idea of what I want to do with them. Like for this picture, I really wanted to make the fairy the focal point and sort of have the rest of the background fade away a little bit. At the end, I don't actually think that I accomplished that, but the point is that I'm trying. I suppose I should actually tell you what I'm doing here. I started out with alcohol markers, and I usually like to do this whenever I'm drawing or coloring, mostly because it's less work on my hands to fill in the space. And alcohol markers blend themselves out pretty well, so it actually helps later when I go in with pencils. Also, with really busy pictures like this, where there's all these teeny tiny shapes, it helps me to sort of organize it and understand what each piece is. Like, there are so many tiny tips of leaves and flowers that coloring it in with the markers helps to sort of organize it in my brain. And then later, I can go back in with pencils to darken up certain areas, detail them, add shadows, blend out places. So now that Halloween's over and I can get back to my normal silly content, what are some things that you guys would want to see? I always have tons of ideas and have giant lists saved in my phone, and then I'll plan out like 2 months worth of content at a time, get 2 weeks in, and completely change up my plan. There's things that I've planned multiple times, like customizing a paint by number, and making and decorating my own pencil holder, and doing more Dollar Tree crafts that I've had on my list and in my plan multiple times, and then they get changed around and I haven't done them. I also have a few things started that I was going to put in other videos and never got to finish them, so I could actually use them to continue on. I also do have some plans to go back and do things that I've done before. I don't know if it's the most exciting, but I really enjoyed working with clay and want to try that again. I really liked painting squishies, and I think it would be pretty fun to try and customize them a bit more than I have. And obviously, I want to finish my Create This book. Speaking of, I'm struggling a little bit with deciding what to do because Mariah Elizabeth came out with Create This Book 3, so I know obviously there's a lot of interest in that, but the super obsessive part of my brain thinks that I need to finish them in order. Or do I just jump in and do them all at the same time? A page of Create This Book 1, a page of Create This Book 2, and a page of Create This Book 3. Help. I need help. I also think that I'm going to try to finish my reverse coloring book. There are another 2 by the same author. I'm not sure if I'm going to do those, but I do really want to finish the one that I have. My reverse coloring book videos are consistently the ones that still get the most views every single day, but I do worry a little bit about making it boring for the people that watch all of my videos, so let me know if I should continue after I finish the first one. Is anyone even still listening to this voiceover? Probably should have just muted it. I don't know why I struggle so much with voiceovers. Like, if it's not written down word for word in front of me, I can't say it. And I can talk in front of people just fine. Like, I'm a teacher, I used to coach roller derby, I'm used to talking to groups of people, but something about sitting with a microphone directly in front of my face, all of my words just disappear. So the few comments that I get that tell me that they really love my voiceovers or say it's really relaxing, you have no idea how much that just hits me right in the feels. Back to this actual coloring, I tried to add some grays around the edge of the fairy to sort of shadow her and make her look like she's sticking up off the page. It didn't work, but I recorded a whole video of what looks like me doing nothing, but I do fix it later. So outside of video content, I do have a few other things that I really want to accomplish the rest of this year. I really need to organize my craft room. It is a disaster area. I sort of just threw it together with random pieces of furniture that could hold things, and I cannot stop buying things, so there's things just everywhere, not contained, piles piled up like piles do, and I just need it fixed. I also really want to get into posting on Instagram more. I'm awful at it. I can't take aesthetic pictures and I forget to post regularly, but I know that that would probably actually really help my channel grow. So I'm gonna try, I promise. Another thing that would probably help my channel grow, but I'm pretty sure I'm never going to do it, is post on TikTok. I mean, I did technically post on TikTok once, I think, maybe twice, but anytime I open TikTok, all of a sudden 3 hours vanishes. So I basically can never open it. And I know there's a different sort of style that artists on TikTok use. So I can't really do research unless I had a month of free time. And I don't have any free time. This marker that I'm using on her dress and on her wings is actually a colorless blender from my alcohol marker set. It surprisingly works super well to sort of blend out the rest of the pencil marks where they're kind of streaky, you can see the pencil strokes. Like, it seems to work better than an actual pencil blender. I use some sparkle gel pens to color over the lines on her headdress and her actual dress and her wings to sort of give them some sparkle. It doesn't really pick up on camera, but trust me, it is beautiful in person. This is the most rambly voiceover ever. Coloring this page took me about 2 nights after work, when most of my projects usually take me the entire week, and I'm still working on them all the way up through Saturday when I'm editing to post on Sunday. So it was really nice to have a little bit more free time this past week. I didn't even really know what to do with myself. One thing that I did not do this week was decorate for Christmas, because it is too early for that shiz. It might be because I'm not as big of a Christmas fan as I am a Halloween fan. I mean, I like Christmas. I get a whole week off of work, but I'm not as excited about it as I was when I was a kid. And don't worry, I'm not going to do an entire month of Christmas videos. I might do 1, maybe 2, just because I already have crafts that I've found. But who knows, because that's 2 months away. It'll probably change. After adding that glitter gel pen all over her dress and wings, I used a black pencil to darken and thicken up the line around the fairy. I really wanted to set her apart from the background, so I just kept thickening it up until I felt like she really stood out. If you've actually made it to the end of this video, 1, I'm shocked, and 2, I'm super grateful that you allowed me to have a week to do something a little bit easier and more simple and more laid back. Like I said, I'll be back to my normal content next week, but I just really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.